tank him. He's a burst damage hero, but versus two who are very much sustain focused.
Prepare for battle.
Not a whole lot of sustain, though. I generally really like to see Kunkka with something like an Undying or a Wisp even, right? Just because you get that rum buff and so much more healing right on top of it, which makes the rum, you know, it feels like a double shot of rum, right? Instead of just a single regular strength drink of Captain Coco's rum. So you really get, you know, quite a nice, you get the nice glass, you get the rocks glass, you know, you get the spherical ice cube. It's all dressed up, right, when you have a healer on top of the rum buff. But without it, I don't know, actually. They still might have damage, especially with the nukes that they've got on Team Magnus to kind of just still deal with it. And I really like how the this pre-rune time has kind of evolved a little bit. As we can see, a 5-man smoke. They are going to catch a Pangolier who does have to go through a second Bramble. And, well, it's going to be the homing missile, the Fire and Forget, which is going to pick Murdoch up the first blood.
Excellent news for him. Electronic Boys immediately grabbing themselves that advantage.
2 for 2. They've also gone ahead and blocked the Queen of Pain's small camp. And it looks like Team Magnus are not going to do the same. That's another kind of meta development I've seen a ton of. This Team Magnus, they are going to be able to snag 3 bounties to start off thanks to a nice stun out from Trap Nest. So they're going to lose first blood, but they at least get a bonus bounty for just about everyone. Oh, and in fact, Jack is going to look for this kill. It actually looks like it's a safe lane. Shadow Fiend, by the way. He's got Shadow Races at level 1.
Interesting.
To me, Shadow Fiend was always a safe laner because, or sorry, he was always a mid laner, pardon me, because, of course, every hero needs levels, right? So that is kind of Dota 2 in a nutshell. But I would say Shadow Fiend is a little bit more in the I need experience camp just because of the way that Necromastery works. It's not as bad as it used to be, where, you know, you had to get 36 souls or something ridiculous. It's changed quite a bit, so maybe it is more viable now, but I'm still surprised to see this.
And I'm guessing it really has to do with just throwing E-Boys for a loop here, because this is the mid laner playing over on the side lane.
Oh.
Or no, wait, sorry, it was Mark on the mid last time, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, Mark played the Quap.
Listen, they both sound like guys I went to class with, and sometimes you switch them up.
It's true. Although, right now, bottom, they're looking for first blood. Fairy Fire consumed for the Disruptor will keep him alive. And Jack, continuing to combo these Shadow Raises, is going to at least force back the Willow. I wonder what Speed's going to end up doing. I mean, he's got first point in the Plasma Field. And he's CSing very nicely as well. And these denies and otherwise just interrupting the Shadow Fiend's CS is going to be uber important now, especially as he has taken the first points in Necromastery. It's just so weird to see a Shadow Fiend in the long lane.
It is.
Speed.
Might just work out for him, though.
Yeah, Static Link is active, though, stealing a lot of this damage. He's still got a little bit of it, but he's only got the 2 medium and long-range raises to work with. He can't stay alive. A little bit too much magic damage here coming through from long range, courtesy of the Willow, is going to lead them to a double kill in this bottom lane. Top, a nice stun onto 2. No, Murdoch's a little bit too tanky. They can't quite catch him. And this is something that, as well, is kind of maybe a bit of a weakness of the Shadow Fiend, is that he's no longer the you kill him once in the laning stage and his game is basically over because he loses, you know, 24 souls. And it's still super early on in the laning stage, but he did lose 3 souls already, and I don't know, I feel like you just gotta have a little bit more of a durable hero in the long lanes.
Yeah.
You gotta expect some fights.
Every soul is sacred? No, like I get what you're getting at, and that's one of the reasons that I really expected the Quap to still be matched up versus the Razor. It's just once you're on top of that SF, you can stay there, and the Disruptor is great at trading, but not so much at actually defending you when you're already gone on it. And he used a glimpse aggressively there too. They really misunderstood their strength in the lane there. You could see Speed thinking, wait, what? But I just linked you, right? Yeah, I just link you.
Oh, we kill him. Yeah, I mean, that's only kind of scary once the Requiem of Souls is ready to go, right? Oh no, I'm about to be Requiemed is what Speed would be thinking. And then he goes, wait a second, he's level 2. He doesn't have Requiem. I'll just link him. And he does. It's that easy.
Yeah. and we're both on the side lane. Sure, somebody's gonna smack me and I'm gonna wake up.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a wild one. I think this has got to be my first time seeing a safe lane Shadow Fiend. Like I said, I've seen safe lane Quap even regularly once besides the Sammy Boy double arm lift game. But this is definitely the first time I've seen this one happen.
I think I've seen Armel do it once.
See, that's the problem. I haven't gotten to cast too much C in the past year.
I mean, I don't think I was casting that. I think I was biting my nails off, going, "Oh Lord, I hope this works."
Someone says,
guy.
Viking GG carry SF. I've seen a lot of SF in the mid lane, especially when there was like TA and what was it? It was basically TA and who else was it? Basically SF. Almost every single mid lane. There's another one, Lina as well. Back when Dragonlance was like ridiculous, including into the Manta style SF. But again, I've gone through and highlighted the reasons why he's generally in the mid lane, because you've got access to those quick camps to farm. You can stack for yourself super easily and pick them up. And there's just so much harass in the side lanes that SF is not, I don't think, really meant to deal with. Were they really doing carry SF for Viking GG? That would have been Shad, wouldn't it? Or Boom? Back then?
Yeah, no. So they played it Gary, but from the mid lane.
Yeah,
like, he was definitely their pos one, but no way they were going to put him in the safe lane. They might have swapped it around once, but that's to get a favorable lane, and I don't think Razor is a favorable lane in most situations. Like in the mid lane, you can deal with it because you just both of you clear the wave, right? And the SF never has to be in range of the link, and the Razor never really has to get slapped around. Like they're both happy with that. But over here, as you said, this is a long lane. You're going to brawl. You have these supports. They're going to be pushing forward. They're going to be harassing, trying to create engagements.
Yep, they're going to be messing with your creep equilibrium.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's always really annoying when you're a hero who's as sensitive to CSing as the SF, as we're still waiting for the reconnect. Murdoch, I believe he'd be playing from Brazil, right? A former mid lane player for Team Furia. Went to a minor back in 2019. I think it was 2020. I think it was the last regular.
I think it was, yes.
The last, I don't know, what do I say? It was in the before times. It was the last before times DPC event we had, right before the ESL LA major got canceled at the 11th hour.
Before I was old and gray.
My goodness, yeah, that was already 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, people keep asking me, like, "Oh yeah, you were on Complexity, right? Like 5 years ago," and I'm like, pandemic, 2.5.
Yeah, really, really it has felt like it's going to be a while longer. Well, now that they've kind of experienced what is glimpse into Razor once, how do you think that this disruptor should be using glimpse in this lane specifically? Is it kind of more of a save my ally ability, much more than aggressive one, or do you still see some initiation in this lane with glimpse?
They really have to get the other raises out first, unless you can really. I'm picturing the lading with all the math equations here, right? You gotta be synced up very well in order to use the glimpse to hit better raises. You need to be extremely aware of where he was 3 seconds ago, which raises you still have, which ones you can use now. I'd much rather see it be used defensively, unless they can get a quick kill on the Willow with it, because of course the raises are very good for killing her through her Shadow Realm anyway, and she's not nearly as tanky as the Razor is.
Yeah, so I think, it's got to start raises first, at least in this lane, into then finally a glimpse. Because, I think if they do it the other way around, it's kind of impossible.
Yeah, they're just going to stay in position. And you're not going to get any more off. We saw that happen just now.
That's actually a really good point, because basically outside of glimpse, E-Boys, they don't really have any gap close to the SF this game. They kind of just have to run up to him. And they've got heroes that run pretty fast. Razor is especially speedy with points in his passive and the builds. And you've got X-Mark to maybe hold them in place and set up around him. But I wouldn't call that traditional gap close the same way I would say PA has gap close or a Storm Spirit has gap close, right?
No, it's going to be a bit hard for them to actually force the fight. But once they have it, they have really good area control, of course, with the boat, especially with the Dark Willow, the Brambles and the Terrorize. Those will work quite well in their favor once the fight is set up. But forcing it in the first place, yeah, that's especially because there's a Nyx assassin over on the side of Magnus as well. They're going to have the vision advantage most of the time. They're going to be able to pick and choose if they want to fight or if they just want to toss their bug to the
这么
wolves.
菜呢，队友不
And
会
we've
生
seen
气的，
before that
真
Magnus
的。
is not afraid to toss one of their players into the abyss if it means not taking a fight that they don't want to take.
So I'm seeing actually quite a bit of Twitch chat saying actually carry SF is more common than I'm giving it credit for, and that is actually right. I'm just looking at Dota2 Pro Tracker, 1,200 matches here in the past 8 days with a win rate of 46%. And in 68.8% of matches, he is mid, which means 29% of the time he's going carry. It's in the carry lane.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it with that tone because 46% is not exactly, that doesn't sound like a winning experiment to me right now.
He's got a winning win rate, actually. He's got a better win rate on carry. Of course, a smaller sample size. This is fascinating, but his matchups versus Razor aren't so good. Yeah, this is a little bit new to me. The build,
it's not.
the build is super standard though for carry SF. I think anytime Shadowblade is super good, SF is going to come back into meta, especially with the changes, not so recent of course, but the changes of a Shadowblade to include a bonus attack speed item. SF is a great hero to make use of that. Meta styles always felt amazing on him. And even, again, not new, but the updated Scotty as well is always a great carry for him. All right. Look at that. We do some learning.
Yeah.
Live on stream.
That is really interesting. I'd like to see it work immediately once then as well.
Yeah, that would be nice, especially because then we'd get a game 3 and we'd get to see what the teams are going to have ready for the third one. Yeah, this is much more common than I'm giving it credit for. I mean, but the weaknesses though are still going to be very much apparent. I mean, we're going to see, especially with that first death. Luckily, I mean, my goodness, who even got first blood in this game? Oh, right, it was Murdoch that got first blood. So luckily, that was not first blood. First blood was before the horn here, so it wasn't first blood for speed. Because then I think actually this lane for Razor, very, very, very much a hero that likes to play from ahead, and Disruptor, quite famously a hero that if you're behind doesn't really do anything. And in fact, usually ends up getting you killed more often than not with glimpses.
Yep. Disruptor is so tragic from behind. And you don't have any way to farm yourself back into the game. You can hope you can stand to the side of somebody's taking stacks. That's about it. So they gotta turn this lane basically on the second kill attempt, or no kills need to happen anymore. Otherwise, this lane is pretty much over for the SF.
Couple of minutes of pause time remaining, at which point I would assume Magnus are, they're going to maybe choose to give them a little bit more of their own pause time, or they may decide to just continue playing, of course. In today's online world, unfortunately, some internet issues do still end up happening, especially when your safe lane carry player is from Brazil. But the game has to go on, unfortunately.
The show has to go on. I'm thinking about this. Is albino zebra actually just pale horse?
An albino zebra, I think, actually,
Yeah.
basically would be a pale horse. That is correct.
I think I've cracked the case.
You have indeed cracked the case.
It's undercover.
Still paused. Of course, the ESL admins are going to be delivering, I don't want to say justice to this game, but delivering their call here momentarily. At this stage, Kips, we're in the NA region, but still the Americas, especially South America, I've seen quite a bit of 4v5 games and even 4v5 wins, in particular when Balrog's Esports was able to 4v5, I want to say Peridao, in the SA Open qualifiers. From minute 13, they managed to 4v5.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a different situation. We're still very early on into the laning stage. How do you even look to recover? I'm sure E-Boys must be discussing this, especially as the ominous admin messages begin to trickle in.
Yeah, so what's going on? Yeah, that's kind of what we all want to know. I lost connection and left. Jeez, that sucks.
Yes, of course. Again, we're in the NA region, but Murdoch is a Brazilian player, so I assume he is playing from Brazil. Apologies if this is not the case. And sometimes the internet infrastructure, especially even to US East servers, can be a little bit unstable. As there's the G and the ready, so we will be playing 4v5. I mean, there is no playbook for this, but what do you do?
I think you try as best as you can to get some stacks up. Maybe, yeah, like Albino Zebra is promoting himself right now. I've seen, especially with utility-based heroes, with the Pangolier, people coming back for the team fights, but with the Gyrocopter, there's nothing you really can do. Like, you could be investing in him right now, making him stacks, hoping that he can return, but at the same time, maybe you should just immediately promote speed to the safe lane. He's winning down here, though. This is a problem. Who do you promote?
Yeah, he is winning here. Does he win by himself? Can you end up sending the Willow up top lane and maybe promote her? Or is this Disruptor going to be a little bit too much of a thorn in their side?
Mon Basher Ogre.
Yeah, I mean, does Ogre still have that bash talent? To remember.
He does not.
Ah, they got rid of it.
Oh no, he does at 25.
Oh,
he does.
Oh, well, that is a little bit of a stretch, isn't it? 4v5 playing for the 25 talents. My goodness.
Yeah, I don't think so. Cool though, but yeah. At the very least, this man is going to be a mid-game monster now. Like, he's going to fall off like a brick, but an ogre, I can see him carrying this for at least a while, and it looks like they are actually using Murdoch to stack with and scout runes right now.
Yeah, they're gonna use him actually to make sure they can try and get the minute 4 rune. No, they're just gonna go ahead and stack. Oklahoma is going to just claim his own bottle refill. And I like actually the reaction from Team Magnus. They go, okay, it's just an ogre, we can handle that, and they send Shrapnel down bottom as they really need to take down speed here. A great stun, and they even have vision here. They missed the last shadow rays, but they have the damage anyway. That is going to allow them to get the kill, however, still onto the Disruptor. So they're going to get something out from this. And actually, Albino Zebra, he's going to get the kill top lane. What happened here?
I don't even know.
Just Ignite.
What a unit.
It was literally just Ignite.
Well, that's a good omen for E-Boys here, at least.
Indeed, it is. Trapnest, though, he's going to be freed up to kind of do a lot. I think this is actually like one of the better games, or one of the better scenarios, right, where a Nyx Assassin is going to actually be able to be fairly useful here in a 4v5 when you can kind of just roam around as you please and make space in any other lane. But right now, actually, they're abandoning bottom. What is going on in this game?
I don't know. Everything's thrown into disarray. The Pango, the Nyx can roam, but the Pango does need to live.
They're going to find a Willow here. Shadow Realm, however, is going to protect her for now, as she looks to throw back that projectile onto the Disruptor. The glimpse is for speed to get him away, but he's going to start sieging this tower here. The wagon's going to roll on up. Okay, so Jack is now back. All right, okay.
Went to get himself some souls.
Yes, and now he's going to return to the lane a bit more powerful. Something we should mention, right, because it is quite the chaotic game, is that Mark is dominating this mid lane. He has 15 denies.
He is really schooling this Kunkka, and this is why the Nyx coming to harass him in the camp was a big deal as well. This Kunkka is trying to recover from this laning stage, and he's not getting any space right now.
No, I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about pre-level 6. You simply just have to eat Shadow Strike after Shadow Strike after Shadow Strike. Quap as well, a pretty high armor hero. Great stats on this hero. Up to 6 base armor right now, currently at level 6. Has no point for Sonic Wave, however. So can't look to secure that kill onto the Kunkka, despite Trapnest's best rotation.
And I think as the Quap, you can just extend the laning phase here. You got the 3 levels in Shadow Strike and just keep on bullying. Look at him go. Now, who's the enemy going to rotate? They're already a hero down. Everybody's locked down in their lanes.
That is very true. They've got Murdoch just ready to stack another camp here. On the side, Here's the Willow mid lane. Mark, though, looking to close the gap. Shadow Strike in a second, but of course with Shadow Realm, she's going to throw it, and that should be a dead Willow here. Has no stick charges. Actually going to just have to TP away. It's a little bit too scary. Kunkka now TPing back to the lane. Just checking in back top lane very briefly here. Albino Zebra is going, I think, for the right play. Oh my goodness, I missed the kill. Down bottom. Speed able to close the gap and finds the kill on Disruptor. Jack as well is going to be bodied out of this lane. But very quickly, just to check in on how Albino Zebra is chugging along pretty nicely. He's maxed now Ignite, and that's going to force the Pango out pretty easily. And he's actually going to go for the hand at Midas. So he'll be pretty farmed.
Ogre is an absolute beast. Once you get that Midas online, you start getting very tanky and very farmed very quickly, and you can build whatever you want on this hero. I do think an Aghanim Scepter should be involved at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Rolling Thunder's top lane, however, as they're going to look to try and get a kill onto the Albino Zebra himself. He throws out a stun, and he dodges not only once, but twice. Throws out the taunt Olay here from Albino Zebra as he's got the Rolling Thunder out. And this is a hero, Kips, who's also very tanky. 8 armor, 1,000 HP. He doesn't care much for your fighting abilities. Mark with a Scream of Pain, sorry, a Sonic Wave, make that in the mid lane. Does not pick up a single kill here. Looks to try and at least get through the Dark Willow, as she can probably go diving here with that HP regen. But a nice Torrent here is going to at least buy a bit more time for the Willow. And the Jukes, in fact, are going to get Willow out of a hard spot. So actually, E-Boy is still so far holding up. This is now like the 4th or 5th trip Kunkka's had to make back to base. But Speed, basically all by himself, has really been stopping this SF from having too much of a game.
He is, yes, and that also means that the mid tower still hasn't taken any damage. The Ogre is still farming top. Like, remember that this guy started out as a support, and he is now very close to overtaking the Pangolier. The only thing that's preventing that right now is the Nyx actually returning to the top lane.
Yeah, but so far, Albino Zebra is already halfway to this hand of Midas. We'll have to take a look at the post-game screen for how many stacks, that they've managed to get going with the disconnected gyrocopter. As top lane, they're going to try again now for Albino Zebra. Another Rolling Thunder. This time, can they collect on the kill? The Ignite stuns him a second time. He's going to try and get pushed to the other side of the obstacle here. They missed the swashbuckle. Another taunt. But eventually, they're going to have the kill. Albino Zebra, though, having some fun with this game as he is going to drop another tip. Let me just check here. I'm looking at their passive golds. Okay, so their passive gold has not increased. The one game in which I did see, again, the Balrogs Esports versus, I think it might have been Furia Joem or Peradao.
Were we casting that one together? With the disconnected Pangolier?
No, that was a mid lane Kunkka game. Okay. We might have casted a disconnected game once before, but this was very recently. I was doing it with Astini, and he actually disconnected. He fully disconnected, so he might have had the disconnect bug. And I didn't know this in Captain's mode. I always assumed it was not the case, but the game treated it much. Hold that thought very quickly. They're going to get a kill onto the Pangolier. Speed is actually even top lane, and Oklahoma is rotated on over, and they will be able to repel this push as the Torrent's damage over time will collect the life of the Cockroach. It'll wash him up. But he was fully disconnected in that game, and I thought this wasn't the game, Kips. I thought this wasn't the case, Kips, but apparently if you disconnect, even in a Captain's Mode private lobby, like you fully disconnect and quote-unquote abandon the game, your team does get to sell your items and get your passive gold. That's not the case here, though, so Murdoch can still reconnect, but I don't know.
Not completely gone.
Not completely gone.
I wonder if he's going to come back, though, and if it's actually going to do anything for them. Like, right now, the rotation that we saw would have honestly also happened with the gyrocopter there. That's very standard. They're trying for your top tower. Your gyrocopter is already in the jungle. You rotate your 2 other cores top. But of course, nobody is farming in that space that they're creating with that move, and that is the big deal. Did he just multicast him to death?
I mean, it was only he's just not ready for this level of Fire Blast. Like, this Ogre is just such a high level. He Fire Blasted him twice, of course, because he's only got multicast level 1, but it was a twice multicast and they get the kill. They're looking for Speed in the mid lane. This would be a big kill. Sonic Wave. It's still not enough damage, though, Kip. Speed, pretty tanky. They're going to stun him in additional time, but here's Albino Zebra ready to turn the fight. No multicast this time here for Trap Nest, but that's a maxed Ignite here, so that's going to continue taking away here towards the Nyx Assassin, and that's another Sonic Wave where speed, or make it hit the target at the Sonic Wave, just lives on a hair of HP. Strength Treads, Infused Raindrops, the Ogre Axe, everything coming into play there to keep him alive.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Keeping alive is not farming right now, and he's already queued up the refresher. I like his positive thinking, but first make that way to your BKB, because I was talking about, alright, you gotta survive the lanes to get yourself a game, but didn't think that E-Boys would be the one with that problem.
Me neither. Mid lane as well. Quap in a bit of trouble. Terrorize is on the mark here. Throws her another Bramble, and the Bedlam is actually going to collect the life of the Queen of Pain. And somehow Kips, oh my goodness, another multicast is going to pick up the kill. Didn't even need it 2 times. Oh, Zebra with the PPD lines as well. Oh, that's a great. The PPD voice line while playing Ogre is amazing, isn't it? Especially when you multicast and get that skill-based 2 times or the 4 times. But
it's beautiful.
I
love it.
I didn't think. Okay, the tower goes down top lane first, and here's the Rolling Thunder, second time here, and Rolling Zebra is going to finally go down as they will collect the kill. So at least that's going to be the tower saved. Down bottom, another rotation as Speed is looking to do a bit of sieging himself. There's an 80 now from Mark. Disruptor here to hold him down with Static Storm available in a second. He's going to drop it now, but he's actually still linked up, dying pretty fast here to the Queen of Pain double damage rune, but he will be able to at least take the Disruptor with him for a 2-for-1 trade overall.
The problem is that they lost 2 cores here.
Yes, that's true. It's an Ogre. He's a core.
Yeah. And you're losing them pretty much one-on-one. One of the big problems that you have here is, like, Speed makes that play like he still has 5 men behind him, and there should be a 3rd core ready to come up behind him while he does that, and there isn't.
All right, this is going to be a Willow probably taking a fall, as down she goes. Midas is up and operational here for the Ogre Magi. Again, this is a man who started as a position 5. 2 minutes and 32 seconds in, his core disconnected and did not return. He queued up that hand to Midas after purchasing the Quelling Blade, and he is now very quickly catching up and almost equaling the farm of his adversary, his laning opponent, the Pangolier. I like his build too. Immediately into Aether Lens, just needs to be a little bit more useful with his spells. Immediately, they're gonna try and kill him again. He's got a Sentry here though. He's got multicast level 2, so this is a surprising amount of damage here, up to 750 if he gets the ding ding ding. And so instead the Nyx Assassin will look mid lane, where there's currently a siege in progress. Disruptor as well joining the fight. This Nyx looking to scout anyone here in the trees. So far has no vision. Now he's going to see one hero here. Scouts the Willow. They're going to look to set up for the kill. There's the Vendetta damage, and they're going to get her before she can go into the Shadow Realm, but Oklahoma is going to be bringing in the boat. Where are you going, Queen of Pain? X's are right back. Trapnest able to reflect a bit of damage, and with the Static Storm down, that does prevent Oklahoma from doing much at all. Speed as well glimpsed away, as he is going to be unable to collect the kill onto the Nyx Assassin. They're delaying them quite a bit more than I expected, especially as Albino Zebra gets another kill down bottom. Oh, goodness.
So tanky. They're delaying extremely well. Like, solo kills like this are going to happen pretty much every Sonic Wave, even though at the start we also saw these not actually resulting in kill. And the biggest problem right now is the pressure on your TPs. You can see there that the Razor has to walk in there in order to contribute. And it is going to keep on happening. Just because they have 1 person less, they have to do a whole lot more walking. And that's less farming time. That's less killing time. They're going to keep on running after Magnus because of this problem.
Yeah, and he is still struggling there, as they are going to be repelling the Triangle Incursion. They've got vision, but the Orchid, as Mark blinks in super aggressively. Trapnest from behind here, now assisted. This is a good link, though, as they will be able to at least get the kill first onto the Disruptor. Queen of Pain falling low, but not low enough. Trapnest is going to be in the pinball zone. Jack, who we haven't seen here on the SF, is going to come out of the jungle to collect his beautiful souls.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And he is... I thought I saw people in chat say that they don't go Manta style, but there is, sure as sugar, a Manta style upcoming on this SF.
No, they definitely go Manta style. I don't know, maybe their Arteezy doesn't go Manta style. There's Albano Zebra with the Aether Lens collecting another kill.
Arteezy doesn't go Manta style?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I haven't gotten to look into the build, but I see Manta on 22% of these games. For the Shadow Fiend, looks like it's either like What is it? Looks like the SFs decided to either go Manta or they go Shadowblade. But you already have an Invis hero, perhaps. Just kind of thinking here as the SF. I already have an Invis hero. Perhaps it's going to be best to not try and sneak up and initiate with a Shadowblade if they're already going to have sentries for the Nyx Assassin. That would be my line of thinking anyway.
Yeah, I'd support you on that. Yeah, then the Manta style makes a lot of sense.
Alrighty. This game is a little bit ridiculous. Nice stun though, catches 2, speed in a lot of trouble and a great static storm. Oh no, but he pushed him outside of the static storm. That's going to free them. They glimpse Oklahoma back on in. Can he cast any important spells? No. Mark walks into the brambles, but he's still going to be able to assist for that kill onto the Ogre, and it's a full 4-man team wipe here in favor of Team Magnus as they finally get a fight to really and truly go their way, Kips.
Yep, and that was a 4v4.
That was a 4v4.
That's very unfortunate. That was really anything they could hope for, but the farm distribution at this point is just so much of a problem. This Ogre does not actually scale that fast. He has a Midas, but you don't up in farming speed, and every single one of these heroes over on the Radiant side has already gotten himself more. Plus you have the team fight advantage. It's just so hard for E-Boys to find anything. Their lineup was supposed to buy time for a gyrocopter.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Gyro's not here.
No, he is not. He is not. Kunkka, of course, he can kind of carry the mantle of a core, but he's not even himself the best mid laner to kind of transition into a full carry, right? SF is a hero that can do that. TA, Lina, both heroes that can very easily do that and quote-unquote carry from the mid lane. Not so much a Kunkka. I think he's going to struggle. I think long are the days gone as there's going to be a 2x multicast for Albano Zebra on the Midas. Long gone are the days where we see Kunkka, you know, starting to build Divine Rapiers and Daedalus and, you know, trying to one-shot people with Tidebringer.
You just have not enough consistent damage output. Your overall DPS isn't actually that high. The Razor would be the guy to do it, and I think you can see here that they're giving Speed the less contested farm. With Oklahoma going down to the bottom lane. He really wants to finish this BKB before he gets killed here, though.
Yeah, and there's going to be a kill onto the Willow. Bedlam is out.
He hesitated.
Oh, yeah, there's 2 fights now breaking out. A Static Storm is going to trap the Kunkka. Down he goes. Albino Zebra now left alone. 2x multicast, trying to get out the Ignites, trying to get the Bloodlust off, but unable to do much as the Ogre, as he will fall. And this Ignite, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Oh my gosh, it
So
actually
much
kills the
damage.
Bangalore, and there's the voice line immediately.
And he buys Veil with money. He is just going all out value for money on his Ogre Magi.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Lens, Veil. Oh, he had the Ags queued up and now he changed into BKB. Oh, he's back into Ags. Come on, dude. Do it for us. No BKB.
I don't even know what he could build this game. I mean, I commend him for going all out this value for money, but Jack is now really starting to farm. He's got Manta Style, he's got Dragonlance, Power Treads,
Oh, yeah.
probably BKB next.
You play this game like Jack isn't going to show up, alright?
Yeah,
This is 4v4.
that's kind of you know how I've been casting it. It's pretty close until you. Oh, that's a big one. Another 2x multicast for Albino Zebra. You play this game like it is, you know, not going to be a super big. Stomp at the end when Jack is going to come in with just way too many items because he's just been farming. That's kind of all he's been doing. Is this going to be a smoke gank now from you boys? 4-man smoke? No. Okay. They just had a little team powwow in the triangle. They're like, what do we do?
I mean, hold hands, otherwise you get Sonic Wave by the co-op. We've seen that with every single attempt that they made at the bot lane so far.
Yes, for those of you just joining in, we've been in game now for about 30 minutes. Game clock says 20, and that'd be because at around minute 2, Gyrocopter Murdoch disconnected, did not reconnect. Per the rules, 10 minutes of pause time allocated per team per match, per game, I should say. And once those pause minutes are up, the enemy team is allowed to unpause and continue the match And, well, that means we're playing without a gyrocopter currently.
Dire's top tower
Game 1 advantage, though, for Eve Boys, as there's a Sonic Wave ready to go. They're going to try and not to use it, but eventually, yeah, Ogre is going to force it out on the BKB for BKB as Speed has the static link going. Looking for a couple more kills. Trapnest should be next to fall. Down he goes. A Blink Dagger, though, on the Pangolier. Catches the Kunkka as he's forced back to the low ground. BKB active now. He's going to tank through that Requiem. No problem. Torrent as well is going to lift the SF. That's a 9-second BKB for him, and a Requiem of Souls well used to collect the Soul of Speed. They're going to look for an additional now as the Willow is next to fall, and it's a 1-for-3 trade here favoring Team Magnus as they fight beyond the Tier 2 towers.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I suspect the Ogre kind of knew there was somebody uphill, but you do feel tanky, you do feel big. Maybe you can bait your team out an engagement that's going to work for you. And for a second there, it looks like the Razor can actually get something done with the Eye of the Storm, but as soon as his BKB is over and he's glimpsed back, it feels like this is going to be the game for them. This is what the rest of the game is going to look like.
So as we try and metagame here a little bit for the series, because at this rate, 12k net worth lead with a 5v4, you know, I think the writing is, if not on the walls, it's at least behind a very thin paint layer on the walls, that this game is basically over for Team Magnus, especially as they get the first stages on the SF. Do you just delay the game as long as possible and hope that Murdoch reconnects to the TeamSpeak or whatever, and you get ready for a game 3? How do you look to play this?
Yeah, I think so. Or you're spending this time trying to find a stand-in for game 3.
True. Yep. True. You got to reply to the Discord messages between games, or during game. You know. Yeah, but they
I mean, usually the manager gets going within 5 minutes of the Discord.
Oh, that's a big kill. Oklahoma pops the BKB. He's going to fall basically immediately. Doesn't really have anything else other than just a BKB. Literally just not even power tread to make that phase boost as they are going to glimpse back the albino zebra. Sometimes multicast, almost gets through the illusion. He is looking for more. What's going on back here? Oh, there's a speed. Okay, he's used his full duration BKB, almost actually picking off at least the Queen of Pain. But he is going to be encircled and slain after his BKB duration is over, especially. Looks like he just went onto the back lines trying to nuke them down.
Level 4 gyrocopter. He's throwing his level 2 homing missiles.
Anything, you know, just anything and everything. They're going to be soon throwing the kitchen sink at Team Magnus to stop them from sieging their high ground, because there isn't really a whole lot left that they can hope to do.
It worked though.
It does.
Gyrocopter shows up there. High ground defense, man. You have to back off.
No, guys, this gyrocopter is not going to get low priority. That would be fantastic, though. That would be just fantastic. But no, Murdoch, it's private lobby, not public matchmaking. As there's Jack. He's going to just... Oh, Manta style, though. Yeah, he's going to be able to shrug off that damage as a cheeky little Orchid out from the Queen of Pain onto albino zebra, who's probably having a lot of fun this game. He's the richest hero on his team.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
He doesn't need to hit any creeps.
Just needs to use that Hand of Midas. Mid lane, they have eyes on Oklahoma as he tries to find himself into the enemy triangle or into the enemy jungle to get some farm. They're going to force out his 8-second BKB charge, make that a 7-second BKB charge as he was being glimpsed back. He decides, no thank you, I want to live today, and will TP back home immediately.
That's brutal. I used to do that with games that were completely lost. Just try to sneak past them with the solo smoke and go camping in their jungle.
Didn't work out this time around.
No.
It's especially hard, of course, when the enemies have all their Tier 1 towers up, because, of course, your gyrocopter disconnected at 2 minutes in. The fifth lane of creeps didn't even spawn in by the time the gyro was disconnected. As Trapnest blinks up to the high ground, he misses the spells, but at least with the Lotus is able to reflect a couple of spells. Bedlam into the Static Storm. They will at least be able to trade away for the Nyx Assassin, and that Static Storm down as well. That has been a little bit of a problem here for Oklahoma, especially. So maybe now, if they try and snipe the life of one, Speed is going to be able free to wrap around now. Once again, just looking for the Disruptor. Link, though, was onto the Pangolier. And my goodness, the damage was just way too high here. SF, he's doing too much damage in the middle of these fights as he's going to die through the BKB. Oklahoma's next to go. And, well, I think other than Oklahoma, right now, E-Boys, they're in a little bit of a state of despair as they find themselves down 18k in a 4v5 scenario. And I think Team Magnus are definitely feeling the strengths now.
Yeah, you play as if Jack is not going to show up, right? So you build the BKBs, you make sure you can play them in game. Oof.
Who fed Murdoch like that? Come on now. Gotta protect him.
You're a precious boy.
4 times multicast. Big ding ding dings. This is plenty of damage. On to Jack. He's fine though. I mean, Aegis was up in... it was a whole minute of Aegis left, but can they actually even do anything now off of this, as he does end up reflecting the stuns a little bit. He's in Viz. We've got the vision though with the Sentry, however, keeping them at bay is Pangolier with their own Thunder. Oklahoma's on the way on in now as Jack currently left in place. A 3-man Torrent kind of ravages them, but look at the control. It was an amazing play from the Pangolier, who stopped Speed from rejoining that fight, and now Oklahoma, without the protection of the BKB, only has the run buff to try and get through this fight as he's running himself back home. Screen of Pain chasing him down. He will be able to retreat to safety in the fountain. Murdoch, though, or at least whoever's controlling Murdoch, is going to end up falling. Strapnest lives thanks to the grace of the Glimmer Cape. The top siege continues from Team Magnus.
And Evo's clearly trying to solve this with clever shot calling, trying to figure out a way to get to the backlines, but at this point even the backlines are pretty tanky because they just out-level Evo's so much.
Yeah, Speed just unable to find a good moment there, a good opportunity to pop his BKB. Means that, unfortunately, doesn't really get much of anything off at all. And now this is about to be the Megas. E-Boys can't really defend against Megas too well, as there's a BKB active by Mark, just looking to hit the throne. SF Illusion's making quick work, at least of one, but there's now 2 dead already, and potentially even more as the Megas will fall. Jack lighting up the kill feed here. And
I mean, this is the ideal carry game. You just have to do nothing the entire time, and then you show up with all of your items and you end the game.
Yeah, he is just way too farmed right now. They can't really look to do anything to stop him. Oklahoma, he might die in the time it takes him to get X marked back. There's a BKB now. His Speed looks at least for Trapnest. He's got his own dust. So Terrorize buys them a little bit more time. Nyx Assassin will buy back, but his BKB is up. Oh, and the physical damage is way too high. Speed's got buyback. Murdoch's life has been fed off. Oklahoma might be up next here as Jack with the Silver Edge crits starting to do with plenty of damage. Ogre, he's saving buyback for the next game. He wants to have the most net worth on his team, and if he buys back now, Kips, he's not going to have it. And that is going to be game number 2 in the bag. Team Magnus